More musings from a US expat in the UK. Today we're going to talk about eggs. That's right, eggs. In the US, when you go to a grocery store, the eggs are found in the refrigerated section. This is because eggs in the US are required to be washed, but a consequence of that is that the outer protective coating on the eggs is lost. So refrigeration is necessary to slow down spoilage. In the UK, eggs must not be washed. They're required to be unwashed. So the protective coating remains, and so grocery stores put the eggs out on shelves, and the eggs are not refrigerated. However, as a consequence, the eggs sometimes come with a little extra something. So, for instance, this egg here came with a chicken's feather, a little bonus gift from the chicken, I suppose. Uh, However, while most people, I imagine, in the UK are taking their eggs home and putting them on their cabinet shelves, keeping them unrefrigerated, the box itself does say storage instructions after purchase, keep refrigerated for freshness. So I keep my eggs in the refrigerator because that's what the instructions on the box say. However, I assume if you use the eggs relatively quickly, then it doesn't matter, that the eggs will stay fresh long enough. Another thing worth noting about eggs in the UK is that the chickens that produce the eggs uh, must be kept under strict sanitation, hygiene, vaccination protocols. This significantly decreases the likelihood of contamination from E. coli or salmonella or other bacteria. And to know for sure that that is how your egg was treated, they come with a little stamp. Hopefully you can see that stamp with the lion on it, and that says that they were kept under the appropriate protocols. This means that you can have runny eggs or soft-boiled eggs, and they're perfectly safe. I imagine you could even eat them raw, and that would be fine here in the UK. Why anyone would do that, I don't know. However, it's worth noting that you should not eat raw dough or raw cake batter because flour is often contaminated with E. coli or salmonella or other bacteria. This is because the wheat that the flour comes from is not cooked. It is just dried and ground, and so it can be contaminated. So don't eat raw flour in any form, which means if you have little kids and you want to cook with them, have them cook with you. You should make sure they're old enough to understand not to take little tastes of everything they're putting into the bowl. In addition, here in the UK, I noticed that free range is a big thing. The main option of eggs at the grocery store I go to are free range. This means, according to the packaging, Scottish free range. Birds are free to roam outdoors for a minimum of 8 daylight hours, sleeping in spacious and enriched barns at night. Now, this again, the wording is free to roam. This usually means that the door to the barn is open. The birds can choose to leave the barn if they want. However, often if as little chicks they were kept in more contained spaces, then they might be too agoraphobic to actually leave the barn. So yes, eggs here in the UK, a little dirtier on the outside, but a little safer on the inside. Yes, eggs.